Hi, my name's Calvin.
My name is Michelle.
Hey, my name's Davey Feeder.
I worked at Stanford Sierra Camp for 3 summers.
Worked at Sierra Camp for 3 summers.
I ended up doing it not just 1 summer, but 3 summers.
I currently work for Disney Interactive.
I work at LinkedIn, and I'm doing my sales development role right now.
I make mobile Star Wars video games. I'm the lead product manager on one of our titles.
I am a curriculum engineer, so I'm creating online computer science courses for high schools.
I first heard about it kind of like everyone does freshman year.
And I knew that it was just a place in the mountains that had a lake. In this beautiful location with awesome families. You just had 60 other Stanford students that you got to live with at this summer camp, pretty much, for an entire summer.
I guess it kind of sounded too good to be true. I didn't know that much about it at the start, like what you would really do or what that would be like.
I had a couple of good friends from my freshman year who did it that summer. It was palpable how much it had just rocked their world.
And it just sounded like the coolest thing ever. And so I was just pretty much on board right from the start.
I said, people like me don't get camp. Like, they don't pick people like me. And my roommate, Elizabeth Carls, forced me to apply and said, camp is perfect for you, you have to apply.
I think I decided to apply because I was really excited about the idea of a new community on campus.
Coming out of Stanford, this has been the community that has persisted more than any other.
You know, I just heard so many strong things about the camp community and about those friendships back on campus. That just felt like a really exciting opportunity to meet some new people and sort of build a new network.
That kind of home feeling, that kind of embrace, I found that tenfold at camp.
Even if I didn't work with people at Sierra Camp, they have welcomed me into kind of a very strong pre-existing community.
I like the idea of sort of expanding my social circle.
It was crazy. It was like exactly what I had needed, and I had no idea it was gonna just completely revolutionize my Stanford experience.
Camp has helped me in my professional career probably more than I would have expected.
I talked about camp so much in my interviews here at LinkedIn, actually. It's a very cool, unique, and just human thing for people to relate to.
One of the things you learn a ton of at camp is just how to work with people.
I've become a much valuable team member and much better at rallying people around a cause and like really getting people excited and able to buy in to one common goal.
How well you can work together, how well you can manage differences of opinions, how well you can sort of rally the troops to get excited about something that you want to build together.
There's just a lot of work ethic taught at camp.
This attitude that I'm noticing is different from my peers in that I kind of come in willing to do anything.
Oh, and I cleaned dishes and it was awesome.
Like bussing tables and serving people and being in this customer service role.
And I think it's very valuable, no matter what you're doing, to be able to give an insane amount of energy and enthusiasm and pour your heart into something.
And it's cool at camp too because that's part of the culture is to do that. Like,
to be able to create enthusiasm and to be able to, really unite people and lead a team in that way, I think is something camp absolutely developed in me.
It's not just teaching them, how to make a bed correctly and in the most efficient way, but it's how to do that in a way where you're having a blast the whole time. Like, that's part of the training process.
Camp also helped me in the working world just through the connections to the alumni I met.
You get to meet a lot of very interesting and generally important people.
That Stanford alumni network is so strong that being able to meet people through camp and meet those guests and start forming those connections there.
Even if you don't know what you want to do yet, having that connection early on ends up coming in so handy by the time you end up starting the job search.
Like, hey, I have no idea what I'm gonna do next. Like, what do you do? Do you have any thoughts? Like, here are things that I'm interested in. Here's the major I had. Here's what kind of sounds cool, but I don't really know if there's a job out there that is something like that.
A lot of the guests can really hook you up with research opportunities, with jobs, things that are very relevant while you're still a student.
I think it just gives you a huge advantage in trying to figure out like what you want to do next. You now have this whole network of people that can sort of help you figure out where you want to take your paths.
I was interested in education technology, and she was a venture capitalist in the ed tech space and was, just listing off these really cool companies that I should look up, and one of them I'm now working for.
of spending my 3 summers of my undergrad at Stanford Sierra Camp. There's zero part of me that regrets that.
Applying to camp and going to camp was, without a doubt, like the best decision I made at Stanford.
Sierra Camp specifically was the best choice that I made when I was at Stanford, and I did a lot of things that I'm pretty proud of at Stanford.
And that's probably had shaped where I am now, who I'm friends with now, where my life is at, more than almost anything else I've done.
Coming out and looking back, not just in college, but for the rest of my life, this is something that I'm going to be very happy about looking back on. And even just for one summer out of your 4, it is just such an incredible decision for so many reasons.
I would say to anyone who's on the fence about applying, you should absolutely do it.
You know, we always talk about at Stanford, like, taking advantage of opportunities. There's some opportunities that you can find later. This is one that you can only really find now.
But I didn't apply again until after junior year, and after the fact, I've really been kicking myself sort of since then that I didn't even think about applying freshman or sophomore year. You know, it's like, oh, that's 2 years. I could have done it. And I could have made all these amazing friends even earlier at Stanford. Instead, I did it very last year.
What do you have to lose, you know? Just kind of like put in an application, see what happens. That's what I did.
You can always apply and decide that maybe this isn't the right time for you to do it, but if you don't apply, you are passing up about this experience before you even learn exactly what it is.
It is just a very unique experience that I think is very rare, and it's pretty incredible that it's even an opportunity.
I'm so grateful for it. And I would hope that you would give yourself a shot to have that too.